Good morning. I am so pleased to welcome you here today for the Alzheimer's Association Ride to End ALZ Spring Challenge. What an honor to be hosting this new cycling event. It's bringing us together to fight Alzheimer's and other dementias. Currently, in the United States, more than 6 million people are living with Alzheimer's, and over 11 million Americans provide unpaid care for people with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Alzheimer's is destroying our families, our finances, and our future. It's time to end it. And today, we're all here doing exactly that. And we really do thank you. Ultimately, the end of Alzheimer's will come through research. 100% of the money you raise through the Ride to End ALZ will go toward funding some of the most promising research studies in the field. One day, we will end this disease, and we're going to do it together. Who's with me in this fight? I know that we're together, yet apart today, but let me hear you give a big cheer wherever you are joining us from. I now have the honor to introduce our first guest and someone I now consider a true blue friend. Alzheimer's Association Ride to End ALZ Cycling Director Sarah Pravo. Good to see you again, Sarah. I am so ready for your energetic personality to inspire us once again today. Are you excited or what?
Woo! I am excited. It is today. Today is here. I've been just so excited and, overwhelmed. We are breaking records. We had the goal of 500 riders. And you know what? We are at more than 1,000. Can you believe that? We have doubled. And we have the goal of raising $250,000 for Alzheimer's research. As you said, 100% of what we raise through the Ride to End ALZ goes to Alzheimer's research. And we are coming so close to that $200,000 mark. And I know we are going to hit that goal today. Riders, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have had so much fun encouraging you, motivating you, and actually watching you encourage and motivate each other. This is a family, and it feels like the Ride to End ALZ community is something special. And while today might feel all about the ride and your bike or this weekend, whenever you're doing it, today is actually about sharing your story. So many people are affected by Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, and I want you to share your story today. If you're just watching this, share in comments why you want to end Alzheimer's. For those of you that are riders that have customized your website with the reason you ride, thank you. I've had so much fun looking at those stories. And if you're watching today and haven't, go to alz.org/ride. Click on the Spring Challenge and just look through some of those stories. We've got a great group of people. A shout out to those in California riding with our top fundraiser, Kathy. She's riding for her husband, Gino, who she lost. Shout out to our group in DC, starting over at Spokes. They've got a group led by two top fundraisers, volunteer extraordinaires, Rob and Carol. Shout out to Florida and Minnesota. We're going to hear from those groups later today. And really a shout out to those of you that are joining us from Strava. It's not just about this weekend, but people have been training to ride. And we had a 100-mile training challenge through Strava. Shout out to Deborah. She gets the purple star for the Strava Award, not only training to ride, but also running some miles and then also fundraising for the event today. Now, riders, I have one more thing for you. Photos. This is the best part and the most fun about the Spring Challenge, because even though we are all over the globe, and wait, I forgot to tell you, we have riders in all 50 states and now over 20 countries. Woo! I wanted to change the world, and I know you want to change the world, and we are doing it here this weekend. So, riders, I need your photos. We have this really cool mosaic this year. Check this out. See if we can. alz.org/ride photos. This is the coolest thing. We're going to share our photos today. It's really, really simple. And the photos are so much fun to feel connected and together. Now, last thing there, look at that cool photo mosaic. So last thing I've got to tell you, all of you riders and those just watching today, is donate. You know what? There are 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's. What if we all gave $6? We would reach our goal and do great things for Alzheimer's research. And then I was thinking, well, maybe some of you can do 60 or 600 for the 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's. Then I thought, well, why stop there? Somebody want to give 6,000 or even 6 million? $6 million. If I don't ask, you can't say yes. So I am asking all of you today to give, if you haven't already given, and donate to a rider. Go to the page, alz.org/ride, and click through on a rider. So Dave, you asked me if I was excited. I am completely beyond excited, overwhelmed. And I mean, the riders and the teams, they are awesome.
Well, and so are you, Sarah. Your enthusiasm is contagious. I absolutely love you. So, all right, Spring Challenge is here. We're getting underway, but there's a lot more to look forward to this year. This year's Ride to End All season is going to be awesome, isn't it?
It is. If you can still ride today. I'm going to keep registration open. Registration is free. Fundraising is optional. So register today and go on a bike ride. Or if you need a little more time, we've got another summer challenge in August. We've also got we're planning for 2 weekend cycling getaways, one in Colorado in June and one in Texas in October. And I am just so thrilled at the response and this community that both have bikes and care or love or lost somebody with Alzheimer's or other dementias.
Well, Sarah, your friend right behind you is feeling your energy as well. I love it. It just radiates off you. So, hey, I know that a lot of folks would love to get the cool gear that they see. Is it going to be available after the ride today? Can people keep fundraising?
It is. You've got 30 days, everyone. So you can earn this jersey. And my favorite thing is this new cycling jacket. I mean, this thing is just fantastic. 30 days. Keep fundraising, everyone. Keep asking for those donations today. Share with your friends and family those photos and keep it going.
Thanks, Sarah. All right, we'll check in with you a little bit later today. I know the riders are going to be looking for your inspiration after they get going and are out there riding. So we'll check back in with you later. I love that Sarah reminded us that today is all about the stories. Your story is important. And the reason you ride to end Alzheimer's is also really important. Sharing your story can be healing for others to hear, and it also helps everyone remember that we are not in this alone. And I think that's really important to emphasize. You are not alone out here in this fight. We ride for our mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and grandparents, along with many, many friends. Everyone has a reason they ride, and now let's hear from a few more people about the reason they are riding today.
Hi everyone, I'm Lori and I live in Minnesota. Last year I rode in the Ride to End Alzheimer's in honor of my mom. We call her Best Mom. This year I will be riding in memory of my mom, but I will also be riding in honor of all the good friends she had on Garden View. So won't you join me? Come on, let's go for a ride.
Hello, my name is Carol. I ride in Virginia and South Carolina. I began road cycling to raise awareness and funds to support the fight against Alzheimer's and all other dementias. This year, I'll be riding as part of Team Marie to honor the memory of my mother and my mother-in-law. Alzheimer's touches all of us, and it will take all of us to end it. Thank you for joining the fight, and welcome to the Ride to End All's family. Happy cycling.
Hi, my name is Rob Seidel. I live in Potomac, Maryland. I ride for my dad.
Hi, I'm Kathy. I ride for Team Gino. I live in Grass Valley, California, and I want to see an end to Alzheimer's. Ride on.
Today's going to be an emotional journey, that's for sure. The last rider from that video is the top fundraiser of the event, Kathy Anderson Myers, who is riding today in California. She has raised more than well over $5,000 for the Ride to End ALZ Spring Challenge. Kathy rides in memory of her husband, Gino, who died from young onset, early stage Alzheimer's back in 2018. Kathy tells us that she lost a little bit of him for 10 years every day, and that she misses him so much. Riding to End Alzheimer's is a way to help his memory ride on. We say ride on to you, Kathy. Keep it up. We are so thankful that you're willing to share your story and ride with us today. So thank you, Kathy. I now have the honor to introduce our next esteemed guest, and this is a man that really doesn't need an introduction because of the amazing work that he is doing. Alzheimer's Association President and CEO Harry Johns. It's good to see you again, Harry. Can you believe that in just under a year's time, we now have thousands of people out riding their bikes and loving it, supporting the Alzheimer's Association?
Oh, it's great, David. It's great to see you. Thanks so much for doing this and being so supportive of the cause. I truly appreciate it. And, it is just amazing that so many of you are out there making these things happen. Talking about stories, the Alzheimer's Association was founded by volunteers and by volunteers who themselves have been affected by the disease. They have made a huge difference already, as you are today in your participation. We've had rides in our Massachusetts, New Hampshire chapter, South Carolina chapter, and in Texas for years now, but so many of you have appealed to us to start more rides like today and like the ones you've heard about from Sarah. And Sarah's enthusiasm, as you say, Dave, is so representative of so many. Hers is so great. And so many have that enthusiasm about making the changes we can make together, as you said, and that we are. The resilience of everyone involved in this through these times has really been amazing. The association, our mission, and the cause will actually come through this stronger as a result of you. Personally, my mom had the disease. My wife, Cindy, her mom had it, and her mom did too. So I just want to thank you, not only on behalf of the organization, but personally, each and every one of you who are making these things advance as fast as we are. So thank you so much.
I really truly love about this event, Harry, is that 100% of the fundraising goes directly to research, and that is significant. Can you talk about the sense of urgency that you and so many others are feeling right now?
Well, Dave, I think you are aware, and so many of you, that the association is recognized as the leader in research. You'll hear from Dr. Carrillo a little bit later around the world. And it's so exciting right now because we have so many advances as a result of what you've done, so many others in research, more momentum than ever before. But of course, we don't yet have a treatment, though the potential for that is there. And I believe we will get one. I know we will. The question is only when. And because of all of you, it will be sooner rather than later. And we will together have the opportunity to realize our vision of a world without Alzheimer's and all dementia.
Yeah, thank you, Harry. That sure is a great goal, isn't it? As we thank you for joining us today and for your leadership in the fight to end Alzheimer's. For those of you watching us today that haven't donated yet, I'm sure you can feel the energy from Harry and Sarah, and this is a great time to give just a little bit more. It's easy. You can go to alz.org/ride and click donate. You're going to feel great about it. Find a story that inspires you. Donate on their behalf. 100% of the donations for the Ride to End ALZ goes to Alzheimer's research. We can't emphasize that enough. And that's why I'm so excited to introduce our next video. Currently, the association is investing over $208 million in 590 active research projects in 31 different countries. These researchers are here with us today, and they want to say thank you to you.
Hello, Ride to End Alzheimer's riders. My name is Dr. Melissa Yu, and I'm from Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas, a site for the U.S. Pointer trial that examines whether lifestyle changes can play a role in preventing Alzheimer's disease. Thank you for raising funds to accelerate Alzheimer's and dementia research across the world.
Hello, I'm Inés Moreno, professor at the University of Malaga in Spain. My research is risk factors for Alzheimer's disease and focuses on how either severe or repetitive mild traumatic brain injury can lead to the development of dementia. Thank you, Ride to End Alzheimer's riders, for supporting research. Your participation helps to advance dementia science and to get close to a world without Alzheimer's disease. Thank you.
Hello to all Ride to End ALZ riders. My name is Huntington Potter. I'm a professor of neurology at the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus and director of the Alzheimer's and Cognition Center. All of our research is devoted to understanding Alzheimer's disease better and developing new treatments that can be moved from the laboratory into clinical trials. For example, our most recent work has found that a naturally occurring human protein called GM-CSF is able to reverse memory problems in Alzheimer's disease patients in a phase 2 clinical trial, and also improve the blood biomarkers of brain damage. Other treatments are moving through the laboratory toward the clinic. All of this research would not have been possible without the help of the Alzheimer's Association and of riders like you. Us researchers are incredibly grateful for your tireless effort on the road and your example for other people trying to raise money and awareness for Alzheimer's disease. Thank you very, very much for all of your work.
Greetings to the End ALZ riders. I'm Valerie Pavlik at the Alzheimer's Disease and Memory Disorder Center at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas. My research mainly focuses on preventing Alzheimer's disease and other dementias through cardiovascular risk factor control, or sometimes drugs targeting AD pathology. What you're doing to support Alzheimer's research is invaluable, and I wish you all the best, and thank you very much.
Hi. I am Balaji Krishnan from the University of Texas Medical Branch. My research is on synaptic function, and our focus is yielding promising outcomes that will prevent progression of memory deficits in dementia. Thank you, Ride to End Alzheimer's riders, for supporting research. Your participation helps to advance dementia science and gets us closer to a world without Alzheimer's.
Hi, Ride to End Alzheimer's riders. Caitlin Castelletto here. I'm a neuropsychologist at the UC San Francisco Memory and Aging Center, and I just want to take a moment to thank all of you for supporting our research and getting us a step further towards a world without Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Good luck out there.
Hello, my name is Dr. Ozioma Okonkwo from the University of Wisconsin in Madison. My research is focused on understanding how genetic and lifestyle factors help to prevent Alzheimer's disease. Thank you, Ride to End ALZ riders, for your participation in this event. You are helping to advance dementia science and to bring us closer to a day that we can see the world without Alzheimer's and other dementias. Thank you.
Wow. Today, those of you riding are funding these research projects, and it just blows me away. If you've donated today, 100% of what you donate is going to fund Alzheimer's research. If you want to change the world, this is how we do it, and we're doing it together. Riding and donating are such an important part of this event today. Another group we haven't mentioned much yet today are the volunteers. This event doesn't just happen, but it takes hundreds of volunteers to make it all come together. My next guest is one of these volunteers that has made today happen. I'd love for you to meet the energetic Janiece Oatman in the Ride to End ALZ Spring Challenge volunteer chair. She's joining us from Minnesota today, where there's a group of riders going out safely together on those great trails of Minnesota. Hello, Janiece.
Hello, hello, riders. We are so pumped to be riding today. It is a beautiful spring day here in Minnesota, almost 40 degrees already. I'm going to get up to 60, so we are feeling pretty good for Minnesota in April.
Hey, I love hearing it's almost 40 degrees as this is going to be an awesome day, and I'm sure that as you guys get out there and get going, you're going to warm up. So I see a lot of your friends back there, many of them in their ride buffs. Looks like you've got an awesome group. Can you tell me about why you ride, Janiece?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I joined this cause for all those who are impacted by Alzheimer's, but especially in memory of my grandma, Lucille. I'm all set to go here today. I'm going to be wearing this. And I also wanted to join in honor of my sister, Janae. She's the one that recruited me and got me involved with this cause. And also she was the caregiver for my grandma for the last 2 years of her life. So for all those caregivers as well.
Wow. Yeah, that must be an incredible bond there. We would love to learn more about your committee as well. Can you share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Spring Challenge Committee, I've got a couple of them behind me, lots of them online across the country. They are an awesome group of dedicated volunteers. They're waving there. Thank you, Lori. Almost 50 volunteers across the country who are helping to put on the Ride to End ALZ Spring Challenge. And I just want each of them to know how very much I appreciate their support. We truly couldn't do this without the volunteers. So thank you guys. You really make a difference. Also, I have the privilege and honor to recognize our top fundraisers and our top teams this morning. And with the fundraising still going on for another 30 days, these positions could change. So be careful. There's still going to be some jockeying. But over the last few months, these people have truly gone the extra mile, asking everyone they know to support them and this important cause. So, hey, Dave, what do you say? Let's start with our top individuals. All right, starting with individual number 10 right now, that's Daniel Vinick with $2,631. In the number 9 position right now is Steve Crawford with $2,700 even. In the 8 position, that's John Sheets with $2,846 for the cause. In the 7 position right now is Brett Siddell with $2,993. And crossing the $3,000 mark with 3116, then we also had Robert Seidel. And then in number 5, Doris Brophy. Number 4, Roger Tucker. Number 3, Deborah Malamud. Number 2, Carol Stone. And in that number 1 position with over $5,000 raised, Kathy Anderson Myers. Thank you so much to all of those top individual fundraisers. A round of applause from Minnesota. Hey, Dave, let's move on to those top teams. All right, in the top 10, we've got Team I Go Fast. Love that team name. And then in the number 9 position, Saddle Up for a Cure. We're all doing that today. In the number 8 position, All's for None. Number 7, Team Dunkzer. And number 6, Brett and Dusty. And then moving on to team number 5, that's Calypso. Team number 4, Team Marie. Team number 3, the Savanta team. Over $7,000 raised in the team number 2 spot, that's Team Gino. And the Alzheimer's A team with over $8,000 raised as a team. That's your number 1 team as of right now. Thanks to all those top teams. Way to go. Fundraising can just be so rewarding, and I'm so proud of all the hard work that all of these fundraisers and teams have done. It takes so much time. And again, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of the fundraisers for their hard work. So Dave, my crew here in Minnesota, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that is so cool, Janiece. It really is. And it looks like you're having a great time. And I know it's just going to get better and better out there today, which is awesome. I know that you have your husband riding with you amongst that massive peloton you're surrounded with. But I know our friend Sarah is here in Denver, but I hear her mom is there with you. Am I correct?
That's true. I've got the famous Sarah Pravo mom here in Minnesota with me. She didn't know that I was going to call her out, but there she is. Say hi, Sharon. She's over here waving. Hi, Sarah.
Oh,
Hi from Mom.
well, I see where Sarah gets the awesome energy from. Collectively, you guys all get a huge karma bump today for doing a great job out there. So thank you, Janiece. That makes me smile. I'm so excited to see your group's photo in the group mosaic later today. We'll be talking about that and helping other folks link to it. But let's ask you to take a good group photo for us all right now before you go out on your ride. And thanks again, Janiece.
We'll do that. Thanks a lot, Dave.
Perfect. Wow. Well, I think we should all be so lucky to be riding with a group like that. And thanks to all of our guests who've already joined us. We have a lot more to look forward out here today. So as we get ready for our ride, it's always a nice touchstone to have our national anthem presentation. And we, with all the great energy out there at Ride to End ALZ today, are ready to get things officially started now by joining together for the national anthem of the United States. So if you would please rise if possible, remove your hats or helmets, and join us as we listen to the wonderful Beth, she's in Colorado, to present our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Woo!
Well, I just got a text from America's Got Talent. They're interested in speaking with you, Beth. That was fantastic. Speaking of talent, that is my wonderful colleague, Nathan Guerra, joining us now. We should all be as lucky as I am to have friends like Sarah and Nathan and Plum to work with. So as we say good morning to Nathan, I think we're going to jump right into the world of Watopia, which is the Zwift world. Nathan will be able to bring us really, really excited to be able to bring the world of Zwift and connect all of you great folks to it if you haven't already ridden. Nathan, good morning. I see that countdown clock. We are right on schedules. We're 20 seconds from start. Good morning. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, and we're right into it. So here we go. It's 10 seconds to go. Let's get into the countdown, Dave, and we'll tell everybody what we're looking at as we go.
All right. Great. Everybody riding around the world in 3, 2, 1. Andiamo. The Ride to End ALZ is underway. And I know a lot, we actually have well over 1,000 folks riding in real life as well with us here on Zwift. And this, Nathan, is awesome to be able to connect those two worlds. Great job with finding all of our friends like Janiece Oatman out there. What tremendous energy she has. You know, Nathan, when you look at it, it's about a team out here as a Ride to End ALZ, raising money. And on our team, my friend Plum told me that we've already raised over 100. Well, there it is. I see the total, over $190,000. We're going to hit 191 here in a moment. So, Nathan, these folks aren't racing, are they?
No, they're not racing. They're out for a ride, but we might see a couple of riders getting a little bit competitive out there today. I do think we have some volunteers cheering them on as well as they take off. This is absolutely awesome to see this, all the people in support of this.
Yeah, we're riding in a world called sand and sequoias. Nathan and I are lucky enough to broadcast on Zwift Community Live. Zwift Community Live is a gathering place for literally hundreds of thousands of folks who get together and ride. But today, we're joining to do our Ride to End ALZ Spring Challenge with our partners at Cade Sports. And they really are the secret sauce here. They're leaders in the cause-related cycling space. They produce 3 of the top 5. And there are, Nathan, as you well know, there are some monster events around America through the year. And Cade produces 3 of the top 5. That's really incredible, and they just do a tremendous job. So together, we've all been able to create this virtual experience, all running on the energy of Sarah Pravo.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. And if you haven't known what Zwift is, I mean, just to give everybody a quick little idea of what they're looking at. For those that are not familiar with it, Zwift has obviously grown so much in the past 5 years or so. But as far as indoor cycling, really been a force in that space, especially in the last years. A lot of things have gone virtual, but every one of these avatars that you are looking at here, we're currently actually in with the hand cyclist, which is very awesome to see.
Oh, wow.
This person is powering this avatar with their arms actually at this point. Most of the other riders are going to be on traditional cycling trainer or bicycle at home, in-home bike that may be powering the avatars here through the actual power in their legs. So that power is communicated through all different kinds of device. Smart trainer, it could be through Bluetooth over a phone if they're using their phone to connect to the game. But every one of these avatars are representing a real person at home or maybe in the garage. They could be even outside in a parking lot, as long as they are pushing that power into a device that's connected to Zwift, and this avatar is representing them. So every one of these flags, USA, Germany we're seeing, Canada. I mean, this is a worldwide event connecting all of these people actually exercising together right now in this Ride Against ALZ.
Yeah, it's interesting, Nathan. We focus on America, obviously, with our national anthem, but you know, we do live in a global community here with Alzheimer's, and I love seeing all of those flags, that's for sure. By being a part of the Alzheimer's Association Ride to End ALZ, you've joined much more than a bike ride. What you're part of now is a larger movement that's determined to end Alzheimer's. For each mile pedaled today and every dollar raised, you're helping fuel cutting-edge research. I've mentioned it a few times already, but 100% of the funds that are raised here support the efforts of the Alzheimer's Association to discover methods of treatment and prevention of this disease. And I mean, you could hear it when we were talking with Harry Johns, how we've got that momentum. We're getting closer to that threshold. It's like anything, you don't know when that breakthrough moment will be. But when you get close to the finish line, Nathan, I know you're a bike racer yourself, you have to push harder. You just don't let up at that point. And we're right there. The finish might be around the next corner. It might be around the third bend. But wherever it is, everybody, you're doing an awesome job. I mean, I'm really hoping that we hit $200,000 raised. And this really does kick off the season here. As Sarah was alluding to, Sarah Pravo talking about in real life events. I know they have one planned for early June in Fort Collins, and we would love to be able to get everybody back together again. Fort Collins has been another town here in Colorado that has really stepped up in the fight to end Alzheimer's. And you see these pockets of community building, much like what Janiece Oatman had going up there. Positivity breeds positivity, that's for sure. So you could be part of a breakthrough. I know you can. Let's watch a video and find out more.
Accelerating research at any given moment. Behind the various research efforts fueled by the Alzheimer's Association, advancements are always happening. But not just in one area. Research occurs on every front line. Across disciplines, fields, and industries, milestones are being achieved. At any given moment, research is happening. Right now, $208 million is invested in more than 590 projects in 31 countries, spanning 6 continents. The Alzheimer's Association is the world's largest nonprofit funder of Alzheimer's research, and is the nonprofit with the highest impact worldwide, behind only the Chinese and United States governments, as measured by Insight's Clarivate. We power translational clinical trial research through groundbreaking programs like Part the Cloud. At any given moment, discovery is happening. The Alzheimer's Association has played a vital role in every significant development in Alzheimer's research. Our groundbreaking actions build foundations that make today's advances possible. We advocate for studies that propel the field forward. At any given moment, learning is happening. We connect across industries with the shared goal of finding treatments for Alzheimer's and all other dementia as fast as possible. Alzheimer's Association International Conference, also known as AAIC, is the world's largest and most influential international meeting dedicated to advancing dementia science. The association publishes the most impactful peer-reviewed journal in dementia science, known as Alzheimer's and Dementia, the Journal of the Alzheimer's Association. Publishing discoveries and research findings is the currency of science, and is crucial for sharing learnings and to make progress in the field. At any given moment, have research news, viewpoints, and resources at your fingertips. Download the Science Hub today, available where you get your apps.
Dedicated, brilliant, and kind. That is how I would describe our next guest. I'm honored to introduce Dr. Maria Carrillo. Maria is the Chief Science Officer at the Alzheimer's Association. And Maria, I hear you've been involved with the Alzheimer's Association for 16 years. Who better than you to tell us about the advancements you've seen in Alzheimer's research? First off, welcome. But yeah, how are we doing on the advancements?
What an honor to be here with you. It is so incredibly inspiring. You're inspiring, Sarah's inspiring, all of these cyclists out there focused on research. I mean, this is so new for the Alzheimer's Association. So even after 16 years, I continue to feel that excitement that fuels everything I do every day, because at the Alzheimer's Association, we're tireless. We have to be. We have to be relentless, because we know that dementia is relentless, and we have to be even more so. So what's happening right now? Wow. I mean, we are on the cusp of amazing changes, and all because of investments that we've all worked on together in this field for a decade. But really, I'm so proud of being a part of this change, because the Alzheimer's Association has led the way. What we're doing right now, we're focusing, of course, on diversity. So important to understand diversity and inclusion, and that's important in research. So that's a new focus, a renewed focus for us. And we have to understand risk across all populations. It's important to understand early detection. How can we detect this disease early so that we can actually stop the progression before memories start to disappear? That would be key. And how do we think about treatment in that earlier time point? Lastly, I'll just say briefly, this is the overarching sort of, mantra of the Alzheimer's Association. How do we think about prevention in the future? Prevention, like using healthy behaviors to understand that you might be able to reduce risk to even avoid dementia. Reducing risk through healthy behaviors like cycling. I mean, all of that is so important and is a key part of our national study, $100 million study, the US Pointer study, to explore how health behaviors can, in fact, reduce your risk of dementia in the future. But what's happening right now? Dave, what's happening right now is that we're excited about the fact that early detection and biomarkers are changing the game for treatments. Today, excitingly, of course, over 300 clinical trials are being examined and explored, all under, of course, FDA rigorous testing, as the FDA requires. But for the first time in over 15 years, the FDA is actually reviewing a new potential therapy from a company called Biogen that has the potential, if the FDA so decides that they believe it, to slow cognitive decline in people with mild cognitive impairment, so before they even get dementia, and very mild Alzheimer's dementia. That drug has incredible potential, and there are other drugs like it in the pipeline coming in the next 2 years. So that is a revolution. And I will note that we are all anxiously awaiting the FDA's decisions on these drugs over the next few months and years. But without the Alzheimer's Association, we would not have gotten to this moment. I can share with you many reasons, but we don't have time. The only biggest reason I'll tell you is because today, because of the Alzheimer's Association's investments, we are able to, ahead of schedule, actually detect amyloid plaques, one of those hallmarks of Alzheimer's, in the brain, and make sure that the individuals that are enrolled in these clinical studies, these are heroes, volunteers as well, just like all of you out there, that make sure that they have amyloid plaques in their brains while they are taking an anti-amyloid plaque therapy. Believe it or not, we did used to do that. That has really changed the game, and that's an investment that we made over 10 years ago in order to accelerate where we are today. So that's progress, and I hope that we'll see it over the next few months. We'll see what the FDA deems. Again, we respect FDA's decisions and rigorous review, but that is hope for all of us, because in the next few years, these are revolutionary trials that are different today, and they're changing. They're going to change not only how we do research, but they may very well change how we are able to treat our loved ones at home.
Technology, Maria, is what gives us hope. And there have been a lot of changes. These PET scans, they've really been the images of the brain. They're relatively new, but it seems very high impact in analyzing the brain for those with Alzheimer's. Can you talk about that for us?
So those are that revolutionary change and very big difference. And I think that technology helps us. Technology advances, and taking advantage of that technology, being able to, for example, use those PET scans to visualize these amyloid plaques in the brain that are required to have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, but should also be required to participate in a clinical trial, is huge. And again, without the Alzheimer's Association's investment, that would not have happened at the time that it did now, in time for these drug trials to be at the forefront and in front of the FDA for consideration. I think, Dave, you can imagine that if up to 30% of the people in trials actually don't have the disease you're trying to treat, you're never going to actually have a positive drug trial and a drug that reaches the clinic. It's just not going to happen. So that's why we're facing this today. These are big moments and big discoveries thanks to the Alzheimer's Association. I'm so proud to be part of it.
Can you tell us how COVID has impacted the research community?
We all know that COVID has impacted the way we all work, play, and our lives have changed for over a year now. Hopefully that's coming to a close very soon. But certainly the research community has been impacted. There is no doubt. Laboratories are starting to open back up, but we did have a slowdown of a lot of research, and in some places a full stop, depending on the geography, of course, of planet Earth and where you were and the restrictions that you were living under in your country and or state. So we did have a slowdown, and certainly in the Alzheimer's Association, we saw that we had to provide some additional help to some of our researchers. Some of our researchers in the video, for example, needed a little extra boost because some of the things that they had been working on had to be either slowed, stopped, and then had to be restarted. So we actually had some rapid funding go out. We called it that, rapid funding, in order to support our early career researchers and make sure that our already funded studies actually didn't go down the drain because they were missing a little bit of a boost of funding. So I'm really proud that the association did that. We spent almost $2 million funding early career researchers across the globe in order to help them during this COVID pandemic. But on top of that, of course, these hybrid meetings are now set to go. We are working on one now because we saw the incredible reach we had with the Alzheimer's Association's International Conference last year, where we had to go virtual. Couldn't be in the Netherlands. We would have loved to. But we saw that instead of 6,000 people, we had 33,000 people from 163 countries. That incredible reach, we cannot give up. And so we are going to be looking at how we do hybrid in the future. We're going to have to do that because our goal is to ensure that we provide access to all researchers around the world not just those that can travel to an expensive meeting. So we're looking forward to that change, and of course the continued support of all of our career, all across the career stages of our researchers around the world.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maria Carrillo. It's been such a pleasure talking with you, and I love your bright look on things. So thank you for joining us. I'll now turn and send a big shout out to the Neuro Endurance Sports Foundation. They are riding with us in our Ride to End ALZ rider representative, and they've been in charge of the Zwift training rides for the Ride to End ALZ leading up to today. And I've seen a lot of you out there doing a great job with that. The Neuro Endurance Sports Foundation seeks to increase awareness, foster enthusiasm, and support for brain science through community activity and sports. Danette from the foundation is one of the riders with us out here today on Zwift. So we want to send a specific thank you out to you, Danette, and to all of the great team members for supporting the Ride to End ALZ. Well, Nathan, you know all about that community. This one is super, super strong, and that is one of our riders out there motoring along at almost 30 kilometers per hour. Already they've gone 7.5 kilometers. There's a lot of metrics to look at here, Nathan.
Yeah, there is. This is actually our ride leader that is putting the messages across the screen that you do see. So any kind of direction that you do get in a group ride comes from the rider with the big yellow chevron above them. We also have a few other riders that are out here that are some of our top fundraisers that are a part of the ride, which is pretty awesome to see. John Sheets here, good to see him hammering away. And that's actually right next to the Neuro Sports Foundation you were just talking about. He's riding right along with Neuro Sports, which is really great to see. Just happened to be right next to him. That's great to see. So as far as the amounts, I do believe we have some counts here.
I see it.
This John Sheets, $2,846 raised from John Sheets, who's out here riding with us today.
That is really, really impressive. So he's covering all of his bases. He's a strong cyclist here, motoring along. He's got the draft as well. Looks like an experienced Swifter to me, Nathan. He's got all the telltale signs. He's got the cool kit as well. And I think we were talking about Holland. Oh, you know what it was? Dr. Carrillo was talking about the virtual conference with 33,000 folks attending instead of the normal, in the low thousands. But Tax is a Dutch company. As we see, again, a Belgian flag rolling by. All right. So, Nathan, how's it going with the mosaic? We need to send in a picture. I'm going to go over to alz.org/ride photos. Again, alz.org, and then just /ride photos. And wow, it looks like a lot of folks have been participating. This was a great idea that I just heard about. I've never seen this before, and I love it. You can see folks checking in from all over the place. I think I saw our friend Janiece just flash by. Hope they're doing well out there in Minnesota. So for folks curious, we've got people out riding with us on Zwift right now, the virtual platform that we are in love with. It really becomes a part of your lifestyle for sure. And especially, we were talking about how the researchers have been impacted by COVID. And how about that rapid funding? That's you out there, folks. The fact that you've given them the ability to have the funds to help get these the ideas and research. Sometimes they die in Death Valley when the funding isn't there. Some great ideas never make it to the finish line. And you have been tremendous in giving Alzheimer's that momentum to roll through things like COVID. I shouldn't quite say we've rolled through COVID yet, but certainly we're doing our very best. And in the Alzheimer's community, we are certainly keeping our head above water as we look for that cure. So with so many people out there riding, Nathan, I'd love to describe, you called it the other day when we were out here racing, the land before time. And I thought that was super appropriate. I got a lot of feedback on Facebook.
Yeah, so just real quickly here, this section is a newer section, of course, out on Zwift. And you'll start seeing some dinosaurs and a few other animals out here, some extinct, some that are still around, which is really fun. Titans Grove is what we're riding through after going through the desert of Fuego Flats. Zwift has done an amazing job of really creating this awesome virtual environment to ride through for all of our riders here in many group rides and races. It's really cool that the Ride to End ALZ can use this great environment on the day today. It does look like we have our next guest ready to go here,
Oh,
Steve.
great. Steve.
Waterhouse is ready to go. So, Dave, take it away.
Hey, thanks a lot, Nathan. I'm honored to introduce our next guest, Steve Waterhouse. Steve is joining us from sunny Florida. Harry Johns is in Florida, too. I cannot see any fault in your logic there. This sunny Florida would be the place to be, no doubt about it. Now, Steve is riding with the SLBC. That's a bike club in the Villages, was just outside of Orlando. And Steve, first off, could you tell us about your connection to this important cause?
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you being here. 5 years ago, my wife, Gina, who was running the back office of my company, started to miss some of the details that she never missed before. We did a quick run over to Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida, and discovered that she had the beginnings of Alzheimer's. And so that was the kind of the beginning of our path down this journey. And I have to tell you that the Alzheimer's Association has made it a positive one, where we can make a difference, not just live with the disease. Gina's doing well, and it's a pleasure to be able to see the difference we can make.
First off, from the bottom of my heart, Steve, I am so happy that you're there for Gina and that she has this energy around her. There's no question in my mind that it makes a huge, huge difference. And you set a really, really good example for a lot of us. So thank you. And, you know, the best thing that you said there was that Gina, well, I hear she's feeling great. And she's part of a research trial right now that I hear is having some success. Please tell me that I'm right on that.
Yeah, Gina was in the Biogen aducanumab that Maria was talking about just a few minutes ago. During that trial, she was in another trial also, so they had a chance to look at her cognitive outside of the trial. Her cognitive actually improved as a result of the drug. And best of all, in the last 18 months, her disease has stabilized. Now, that's something you never hear about in Alzheimer's. In other words, it's not her cognitive is not declining anymore. So the researchers are thrilled. When I asked what the prognosis was, they said, we don't know. We've never seen this before, but we are starting to see it in other people who've gone through these trials. So, you know, we are right at the cusp. We've pushed this rock up up a hill for 100 years to get to where we finally have maybe the first drug. And some treatments.
This is exactly why we're doing this right here, right now. If we just had that last 1 minute to share with the world, hope would be growing. I can't thank you enough, Steve. Keep that great energy out there, and certainly give our best to all your friends out on the rides.
I will. Thank you very much. I can't tell you how much it's meant to us to have all that support. So thank you.
Right on. All right. Well, this is a great moment as I take a look over at our Chiron. $191,000. Now, when you hear about the success that they're having, Nathan, is that not incredibly cool? Because when we were with this group about a year ago, we didn't have that type of information to pass along. So clearly we're taking huge strides forward. Let's keep pushing, everybody. You can donate. You can be a part of this. There is no question in my mind that you're a good fit for this community. If you're out there riding, supporting, we know we need you too. So please jump on board, get in our group. And Nathan, a group always moves faster together than any one individual alone.
Yeah, and speaking of riders who are donating, this is Nicole Room, one of our riders that jumped out on Zwift for the virtual part of our ride. She has raised $1,125 as she's pedaling away here at 159 beats per minute to get a little bit of workout with it too. This is the King of the Mountain, Queen of the Mountain section of the course, which is great to see her taking on. They do have leaderboards, as you can see here, and she's going to be chasing that down a little bit here if she wants to try and go after amongst the women. You can see, I think the fastest time is going to be a 5:07 amongst the group, which is pretty cool and fun to see. The leaderboard usually is for everyone in Zwift, but when you're in a group ride, it can be set up for just the group ride. So kind of fun little thing to do while she's out here getting a workout and still raising funds. So awesome. Great job to Nicole.
Nice. So, Nathan, we love what Zwift is all about, and I'm starting to connect some dots out here as well. As you don't hear any specific examples, but I think general knowledge, and to be honest, common sense tells you that exercise has got to be good for brain function. And I think that that's one of, diet and exercise. It all comes together in healthy living. And I love that for some folks it was lockdown, but for all of us it's been a challenging year. And Zwift has, to be honest, the numbers speak for themselves. We've seen literally, I was going to say tens, but it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people have jumped onto the platform. So if you're new to Zwift, riding for your first time today out there, thanks a lot. Thanks for giving it a try. It's really, really cool that you were able to connect your fighting to end Alzheimer's and raising money and out riding with your group. Well, today you're joining a new group, or some of you are anyways, and we sure appreciate having you. So we will be doing loops out here. I can't remember exactly. I actually ride on Sandus. This is my go-to route. But you'll see some riders have multiple cracks, a couple of laps out there. And one of the riders that we have riding outside today is Tim Posen. I'm honored to introduce our next guest. Oh, Tim is riding inside, I am hearing now. There we go. That clearly is inside. Oh, okay, good.
Sorry to switch it up on you at the last minute. I rode 41 miles yesterday outside, and now I'm back inside doing Zwift.
Perfect. Hey, Tim, no problem at all. So let me introduce you, as Tim is riding in the Chicago, Illinois metro area. And so I assume that, there's your avatar. There we go. So you're on a climb right now. Can you feel it in your legs, Tim?
Yeah, definitely, especially from yesterday. So yes.
So, okay. We obviously are riding with purpose out here, and I hope that you were able to hear earlier in the broadcast some of the hopeful guests that we've been able to join. This has a huge impact on you. I was thinking about that before the broadcast this morning, that relationship between parents and children. And this is a time where we can look to you to have some understanding of what it feels like to be riding in your mom's honor right now. I'm going to turn it over to you because I really am interested in what's running through your mind, my friend.
Thanks, Dave. Honestly, the biggest thing is that my mom gives me the motivation to keep this up and to keep going forth, pushing, make it harder for me to keep going. But she just keeps pushing me through this. Last year I did 25 miles, and I was like, well, I guess I have more energy to keep going because she was with me. So that's the biggest impact, is doing this for her.
Yeah, it's really interesting to hear you say that, because we're talking about positivity and where motivation comes from. And obviously you have channeled into something that could not be more powerful. And I see that you were able to fundraise over $1,000. Have you done much fundraising before in your life?
No.
I mean, that's a big leap of faith, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. That's a great question. Yeah, I didn't start. My mom passed away last March, and I believe it was April, the spring event, where I was like, I found it and decided to jump on and started riding and started fundraising for the first time in my life. And honestly, it's the biggest reason. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, when you hear, no, actually, go ahead with your biggest reason, please.
Oh, my biggest reason is honestly just to find a cure for this. Stop. My grandma passed away when I was 3 years old, and my mom passed away when I was 42 years old. And in those 39 years, what has been shown to cure it or anything, there's not been a ton of improvement. So as I tell my donors, what if one of the dollars that you donated helps cure this? And I think that's the biggest impact. I mean, what if just as simple as that would cure this? And yeah, people wouldn't be taken from us so soon.
Yeah, I hear you. And that leap of faith that we talk about when you jump into fundraising, it's like being a salesperson, Tim. I think when you truly believe in what you're selling, and your whole heart is in it, the world will conspire to support you. And in this case, support Ride to End ALZ. And when you hear, like from Dr. Carrillo, when you hear that this funding is going directly to research, it has to make you feel even more empowered, because you're not selling someone something that you don't 100% believe in.
Absolutely. And I follow articles every day and just how far it's going, where it's at, and the companies that are investing in the research. It's awesome. So I'm very hopeful.
Tim, so am I, and I hope someday we can go out on a ride together. Honestly, you look like a blast to hang out with. Great. Well, all right. I hope that we've got Tim. So Tim is in Chicago. I hope that we can get him up in the mosaic. Just head on over if you've taken your picture. There's Tim out riding right now. He's a little too busy to take a picture, but isn't Tim awesome? And people like that, that's the salt of the earth. That's the community that we're talking to today. So we want to see you. As Sarah Pravo was saying, your story is important. Now, I understand, Nathan, not everybody is comfortable telling their story yet, or you build up to it. But if that's in you, it has a huge impact on, people like me. So ALZ, ALZ.org/ride photos. Send them in. Please donate, folks. We're pushing to get to 200,000 today. Every dollar goes to research. Nathan, doesn't get better than that, does it?
No, it doesn't. Speaking of dollars going to research, I just want to keep highlighting our awesome riders in Zwift that are hammering away with us out here today virtually. This is going to be Ken Weinstein. Amongst our Zwifters, he is third overall, it looks like, in raising $1,132. Tim Posen that we were just in with, $1,525. Awesome to see. And so we're going to keep on checking in with each one of our riders. 17.6 kilometers finished and 33 minutes in. Looks like chasing down Jay Berry in a group a little ways ahead. It is kind of cool also how the avatars can get together and draft off each other, actually, Dave. Anyone who's not familiar with the platform might be wondering, does this actually function the way that it does in real life? And yes, it does. The riders, like Fitzgerald here that you are seeing, are able to sit on a wheel and work less to get the same speed as the riders that are in front of them. They're also feeling those little undulations, so that 3% gradient, 5%, 8% you're seeing in the upper right-hand corner as that goes up and down. Each one of these riders do experience that. They might even feel it if they're on what is called a smart trainer that actually puts that resistance into the pedals for you at home. If you're not using a smart trainer, well, you still have to put out the effort in order to get your avatar over each one of these little bumps. So very cool what the virtual world can do to bring all these riders together, Dave.
These two are now through the tough sector of the course here, Nathan. As I was listening to you talking about smart trainers, and Ben, you are absolutely correct. But at this point now, as we're out here on sand and sequoias quite a bit, it's a very popular route. And I recognize that it starts to flatten out here. They've done almost all of the climbing. So our friend Janiece Oatman is out riding, and we were hoping to talk to her right now, actually, but we are playing it by ear, as I'm sure that Janiece right now is having one, a blast. She was with a group of 50 riders, including Sarah's mom, which came as a fun surprise for all of us this morning. That was super cool. So we may be able to find Janiece. I have a feeling it's probably just trying to find some solid internet out there as they're out riding in Minnesota. I saw that we have well over 1,000 folks participating, which is more than double the numbers we had last spring. Last spring, we did a great job. It was noteworthy. The fundraising was exceptional. And as Dr. Carrillo told us, it had an impact, helped push through some tough moments during COVID for some researchers out there. Well, we have really tripled our efforts out here, and it has been awesome to see. Nathan, you found someone who has a Tron bike. Well, one thing I know as someone who doesn't have a Tron bike is these are hard to get. You have to climb 50,000 meters. So basically, well, it's taken me more than half a year, and I'm still not there. So it's quite a bit of work to get this bike. You have one.
What I think is amazing is Jamie Chase, who has a Tron bike, who's obviously a very experienced Zwifter, also is a fundraiser with us. $530 raised, and was one of our interviewees actually from the Fall Challenge. Great to see. And hammering away. This is quite look at this setup, Dave. I mean, we have this
slick.
I mean, we're getting a little bit into the Zwift community culture now, but our fashion police would be very
this is a rock star.
Impressed. Yeah. This is rock star, 100% at this point. I mean, this is almost a 10 out of 10 when it comes to fashion out on Zwift. Tron bike, matching socks and kit. I mean, the helmet and the gloves with the socks and the shoes. It's all the accessories across the board, and the ride-ons are flying completely packed back here. I mean, Jamie is killing it.
Yeah, this is like you're in the Pacific Northwest and you go out to go dolphin watching and you see a killer whale. This is quite a Zwifter that we've got out here. So, and
looks like we do have Janiece on board with us out on her ride. Great to see that she was able to join us here. Why don't we head on over to her, Dave?
Great. Thanks, Nathan. Good news. Well, Janiece, it was really fun talking with you at the start of the ride. How's everything going? You look like you're, well, plenty warm.
Yeah, we're keeping warm here. I got to tell you, Dave, we're close to the MSP airport, so I apologize if you get some flyover noise, but we're about 4 miles in, we're warming up, and we're having fun.
Hey, terrific. So while you've been out riding, we've had some great guests, much like yourself, who brought positivity. So the sun is out. We're just about to raise $200,000 for Ride to End ALZ. I'm going to say that we are on a great day out there. So my question for you is, what was the planned ride today? How many total miles were you guys hoping to do, or is that unknown?
Well, we had 2 routes set up here for our group in MSP. We were going to do 20 and 40, and it looked like most people with the colder temperatures and the early season here elected for 20. So we decided at the start that we'll stick together as a group because it's all about being a family and sharing our experiences and our reasons why we participate. So we're going to hang as a group and go 20 today.
Perfect. So you're not just riding in the Spring Challenge, but you and many of the group in Minnesota sound like you're really excited about the Summer Challenge. Now you're talking my language. Minnesota summer. I know the bikes are out. The people are on the canoes. It sounds like good living. So talk to me about that and what's coming up in August too.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do round 2 of virtual challenge. It'll be the Summer Challenge, Sunday, August 29th. I know those of us here in Minnesota are really pumped for that one. April's a little tough for us with the weather. Some people haven't gotten their bikes out. We're lucky that there's not snow on the ground yet. August, though, we are going to be a mighty force. So you watch out for Minnesota come August. We are even going to add in a mountain biking route option.
Do not sell yourself short, Janiece. You are more than a mighty force. You are a wrecking crew. I am a big, big fan. So thank you for leading the Spring Challenge Volunteer Committee. And I have to say, volunteers are obviously so important to the Ride to End ALZ. And one of our favorites. Thanks,
Yep,
Janiece.
and there comes a flyover plane, so I think that's my cue. Thanks, Dave.
Good timing, Janiece. Great. Thank you. So one of our favorite volunteer stories is that of Don Cook. Don, who volunteered right here in Colorado near me, is an amazing human being. I'm talking next level. Let's take a look at Don Cook's story and why he decided to get involved in the Ride to End ALZ.
As the saying goes, a picture
That's what we had right after we got married.
oh, that's a great one. is worth 1,000 words.
We took one in the car one time. We're sitting at a red light.
And Don Cook's pictures of his wife Carol
That's kind of how she looked day to day.
are all he has left of their love story.
So when I was sitting beside my bed,
Yeah.
and when I saw her, I said, oh my God. He says, forget it. She's way out of your league. He says, I'm going to marry that gal.
They met in 1969 and married 1 year later.
And my daughter saw us sitting there. She took a picture, and she said, you always look like newlyweds. You're always so happy together. And we were. She's my best friend from the day I first saw her until the day I lost her. That's why we were together so long. You find somebody that you care for and you love, and it's your best friend, not just your wife or husband, but your best friend, your lover, And it makes a lot of difference. And this is the one she wanted to take. This way after we moved into her house.
In the early 2000s, Don started to see a difference in Carol. She would forget water boiling on the stove or leave the car running.
2010, she started getting a lot worse, and that's when they told us that she's got signs of Alzheimer's, that it's not good. Because I showed her the picture after I took it. She, that's me? That is you. That's your beautiful self. That's you. And it hit you so hard. And Alzheimer's, it took me by surprise because I didn't know anything about it. Didn't know what she had when she did have it until I found out more about it. And I always told her, she says, am I going to be okay? Yep, we can fix this. But I couldn't fix the Alzheimer's. So in the next 8 months were pretty hard on her. I mean, the last 4 years were really tough on her, but that last 8 months was hard.
In October of 2016, the final picture developed.
Alzheimer's took away my life. They almost really did, because when I lost Carol, that was it. I didn't care if I lived to see the next day, and that went on for several years.
Are you mad at Alzheimer's?
Yes. Every day. And for a while, I was mad at God. Even to the day before she died, she was always so pretty, so beautiful. Just so hard to deal with. And I blame myself a lot. It says, why God, why'd you take her from me? But that's nothing I can do about that now. I'm not going to have her come back and walk through those doors again like I always thought she would. But now we just get on with the next step to help the next Carol, the next people in line. Try to prevent this from continuing.
One step and one day at a time. But Don still didn't have a reason to take any new photos yet. Until 2019, when he saw a Ride to End ALZ booth and met a new friend, me.
And I saw you with that sign that says Ride to End Alzheimer's. It just took me out like a magnet. I saw that, says I need to do this. And something just pushed me over there, and there you were. And when I saw you and I met you, and I found out what you were doing, I said, thank you, God. You are there. So it was maybe the best thing that's happened to me since I lost Carol. Was something like doing this for Alzheimer's.
Life is still an uphill battle without Carol by his side.
Every day it was just her and me.
But Don has a new purpose now. A purpose to tell everyone and anyone that will listen about the Ride to End ALZ.
Yeah, everybody has a purpose, and I guess that's why I'm still here, and I've been riding a little bit now. I ran into a friend rode with her a few weeks ago. We did 30 miles. It was great. It felt so good to get back on that bike.
So if you see Don out riding, take a picture. I wouldn't be surprised if he inspired you to get more involved.
Come on, let's ride. Let's go.
And you might catch a glimpse of an angel on his shoulder.
Now I can ride with the Ride for All's jerseys and shorts. I show off my, I ride with the pretty big halo on my head now when I'm riding with that on, and I feel pretty good about it. And people ask me about it, and I tell them exactly why I'm riding for this. For Carol and everybody like her.
So grateful that we have people like Don in this world. Well, you saw Don there riding in his home of Colorado. Wherever you are, we would love to see it. Tell your stories, people. Come on and send in the photos. The web address is simple. It's alz.org/ride photos. So alz.org/ride photos. Next time you are taking a quick break, snap a photo, upload it. We will get you right into the mosaic, and you can see our fundraising continues to roll on. I know that right now a lot of folks are actually out pedaling their bike like we see here on Swift, but continue to push forward, folks. Love seeing $191,804, which is getting pretty close. Keep on going to that $200,000 amount we were talking about earlier. So good work, everybody. I know one person who is stoked, also in Colorado, would be our friend Sarah Pravo. Let's go back and check in with Ride to End All cycling director Sarah Pravo. First off, that Don video is so impactful for me. I know everyone out there has their different touchstones, but Don is just such a wonderful person. I know he's been a great volunteer and really an ally, let's be honest, for you, Sarah. But I'm going to imagine that you're always looking for volunteers out there. Can you talk about that need for Ride to End Alls?
We are. And, volunteers, this can be life-changing for them, as Don's story. He was in a sad place, as a lot of us are if we lose a loved one to Alzheimer's and other dementias. And, Don's life just in this last year has turned around. Don is smiling and happy, and we need so many volunteers like Don. And, we have our Spring and Summer Challenge Committee. They are rocking it. We need more volunteers in Colorado and Texas. And really, the greatest part of this pandemic, the silver lining, is that you can volunteer from anywhere because we're meeting by Zoom, right? We're not meeting in a conference room somewhere. And I'm telling you, I always say to my volunteers, it will always be fun. It will always be rewarding. And if it changes, let me know. But this volunteer opportunity to get involved with the Ride to End Alz and the Alzheimer's Association is a way to change the world. Come alongside me. I need more people to help. And what started with one has now turned into hundreds of volunteers that are leaders. And I don't know if you saw it. Don has a great hoodie, Ride to End Alz hoodie. You join a committee and you get that hoodie that you can't get anywhere else.
Cool. When you push that much good energy out into the world, as Don is, as an example, how can you not start to see that rebate coming back at you, right? And I think that's one thing. I'm not kidding here, Sarah, at all. I almost guarantee you, let's be honest here. If you're going to go out there and do that kind of good, it's going to make you feel better. It'll start building momentum for you and the positivity in your life. And who right now doesn't need cool friends to talk to? That's for sure. And Sarah, You're exactly that. So, hey, how are you feeling about the number of riders and how much we've raised out there today? What's your take? What's your vibe?
It's overwhelming. I mean, again, I feel like when we really started the Ride to End Alz on this sort of national path and this push, I felt like that first $200 was a huge thing. So now to see that total at almost 200,000. It's emotional. It's, I've spent the last few weeks just listening and getting to know our riders. And it is a day where people feel those angels on their shoulder, right? Don said that, and the sun shining in his photo. And Tim, said, Sarah,
yeah.
emotional. I said, you know what, that we're not alone. And that's what I want people to feel, is that we are in this together. It is a hard disease. My father-in-law has vascular dementia, and it is one of those things that you can lose people twice, and that's really hard. And so just to see people connect, I'm speechless almost, and I'm never speechless, right? I'm never speechless, but it is amazing. I'm so inspired.
I completely agree. And, things like Tim, as you were just talking about, I'm going to, when we're done, hop on Zwift because I feel so much energy from you. Got to burn some of that off. But also, I'm going to reach out to him. I want to have him in my circle of friends, as he motivated me. He made me think about a couple of things that I needed to while we were talking. And hopefully, I'll be able to go on a Ride to End ALZ ride with him in person. Can you talk about that for me, the events you're planning this year?
Yeah. And, before I talk about the events, the Zwift thing, it's so fun to watch the Zwifters.
Isn't it?
Are they amazing? And I love the chat, right? They're like, are we to a downhill soon? Like when they're going uphill, they are working it. And then all of a sudden you can see the difference going downhill. And what fun is it? And, I'm not going to promise you, but I hear there's a Zwift Ride to End ALZ jersey in the works that we might have for our August 29th summer challenge. So everyone needs to come back for that. And then the in-person events, oh my goodness, I can't wait to see people in person. And we are going the extra mile with safety precautions and new plans, and it's going to look different than we had thought. But our in-person, I'm the best vacation travel planner ever. If you ever follow me on Facebook, you'll see my vacations are legit, right? So we are planning a cycling weekend getaway. So for those of you that are looking for that, not only about the ride is the Sunday, June 13th in Fort Collins, right in your backyard, Dave. And then,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly. And then in Texas, in beautiful Texas Hill Country, Sunday, October 10th. But again, it's a whole weekend. So we've got a great VIP party the night before. The packet pickup is going to be at some great locations. And essentially, if you're just a rider, you've got a +1, bring them along. This is a great pre-planned date weekend. Our in-person events do have a $75 fundraising donation, or what you would call a registration donation, that goes to your $500 fundraising minimum. But then everybody gets this cool jersey. You can only get this if you raise $500. And so anyone that's wearing this jersey, just know this is a badge of honor that they have earned by raising for Alzheimer's research. So we're really excited about those in-person events. They are, if you want to go to the next level.
I cannot imagine the person that is wearing Don's hoodie over that jersey when they show up. That's your super next level rock star in this whole thing, as are you, Sarah. So any final thoughts for the riders, both on Zwift and outdoors today?
Take a moment to soak it all in. Take a moment to be proud of what you've done, and, keep asking those that to donate on your behalf. I say people need 3 reminders to donate. The first one, they have good intention. Second, they're like, oh yeah, I got to remember to do that. The third time you ask them, they're like, oh yeah, I'm doing that right now. And so that makes you feel love and connected. If you donate on someone's behalf, there's that connection there. And if you receive that donation, don't you feel that love from that person of, oh my gosh, that is so nice. So keep going, take a moment, and, keep fundraising. That's what this is about. 100% of what we raise is going to Alzheimer's research. And I just loved hearing from those researchers, because we are making a difference. You want to be a world changer? Donate today.
Thank you so much, Sarah. honestly, this has been an awesome day. So you keep up the great energy. Can't wait to see you. And I'll vouch for Fort Collins. As you said, we have some of the best riding in the world here in Larimer County. And I know that the folks in Austin Hill Country would say, so do we. And they're 100% right. So a lot of great things to look forward to. But I want to underline and emphasize what you said. You can have an impact out there, people. The energy that you're feeling, let's harness that. Go donate. You are really going to feel good about what you're doing. And I mean, it's 100% direct connect. Every dollar you donate goes to the researchers like Dr. Maria Carrillo, who we met earlier, who doesn't want her on our team. So Sarah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All
Right
right.
on, everyone.
All right, so we're going to go check back in with the world of Zwift one final time, as everybody out there riding has certainly, it looks like, had a blast. I know that with over 1,000 riders, we really felt your energy at Zwift Community Live today. Nathan, any final thoughts from you out there? It looks like everybody did a great job. Everybody accounted for?
It's absolutely awesome. What I've really enjoyed seeing is all the chatter this time around. The word has obviously gotten out there in Zwift. We've seen, we're out here broadcasting many times a week. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names out here. I'm seeing a lot of chatter back and forth, which is really great to see a community come around this specific cause within the Zwift community, and it's growing for sure. That's really awesome to see. And you know, that being my wheelhouse, I'm absolutely loving the energy behind supporting the fight against ALZ. So that's really my final thoughts, is just what a blast it seems like people are having doing this right now out here in the world of Zwift. Great job to everybody, and just keep it going.
Thank you so much, Nathan. Nathan has, not only do you hear him in the commentary, he does so much of the producing that we have and is the man at all of the switches and just does an incredible job. So, Nathan, thank you so much for your genuine support of the Ride to End ALZ Virtual Challenge. These days are significant, and I'm going to make one final ask that if you haven't donated already, please do. You're going to feel great about it as soon as you hit that send button. So for Sarah Pravo, who really does bring that energy that we have just so much of a need for in this world right now, and all of our great volunteers out there, I hope you had a wonderful ride. For all of our friends at the Alzheimer's Association, Zwift Community Live, and Cadence Sports, thank you so much for joining us today. Keep looking after each other. It makes all the difference in the world. Ride on.